Hello, my name is Dr. Daniel Lopez with Osteopathy New York, and today I would like to discuss with you 5 tips on the health of your feet and ankles, and ultimately the rest of your body. Before we begin, let me explain a little bit about my background and how I came to learn what I'm going to talk about. First of all, I'm a board-certified specialist in osteopathic manipulative medicine, which is a hands-on approach to medicine aimed at treating the underlying causes of pain. People come to me on a daily basis to treat them for all kinds of aches and pains, including neck pain, back pain, tension headaches, migraines, and more. Few people really come complaining of pain in the feet and ankles, but I have found them to be very important in overall health. So on a daily basis, I evaluate and compare normal versus abnormal tissues in the human body, such as muscles, joints, ligaments, connective tissues, organs, and more, and then I work to renormalize the abnormal tissues and restore normal function, which then improves the overall health of the area. So, while trying to find a way to get leg muscles and low back joints to function better, I made a discovery. So what was it that I discovered? Something I discovered was that feet are some of the most dysfunctional structures in the body. For example, if you try pointing your feet and curling your toes down, you likely will get a cramp very shortly. This is not normal in healthy, properly functioning tissues. Healthy tissues, such in bones, joints, muscles, tendons, ligaments, organs, etc., have a certain healthy pliability and flexibility to them. This pliability allows all those structures to be adaptable to withstand the pressures and stresses that are placed on them. Another discovery that I made was that when I was successful in restoring some flexibility and pliability to the feet, the muscles in the legs and low back relaxed, and the joints became more mobile instantly, without me doing anything in those regions other than evaluating them. Once I discovered these issues, then I began to research what it was that was causing these problems. So what causes the feet to become so dysfunctional? So the answer that I came up with is shoes. Now hear me out. Through research, I learned that certain features inherent in most shoe designs, such as built-in heels, whether it's in sneakers or high-heeled shoes, and also arch supports and other designs, make walking correctly impossible. So your gait is changed as a result. In addition, wearing these kinds of shoes long-term leads to foot deformities. Why? Well, the shoe does not adapt to the shape of your foot. It is the other way around. Your foot must adapt to the shape of the shoe, which is usually more narrow than your foot. And also the shoe tends to narrow at the tip, which will compress your toes together. In addition, the rigidity of typical shoe designs also affects your foot. In a sense, it's like you are putting your feet in rigid structures which will weaken your feet, like as if you'd been wearing a cast on your feet long term. Okay, you may say, so what's the big deal? Well, for starters, you end up with deformed and debilitated feet, which besides not being visually pleasing, are unable to handle being without shoes. That's right, so the more you wear shoes, the more you become dependent on them, because walking without them is painful. Walking incorrectly leads to putting more loading on your joints, and long term, I believe, leads to problems such as arthritis in the knees and hips. Muscles and joints in the legs, back, and body will reflexively tighten as a result of your walking incorrectly and reshaped feet. And then joints such as the sacroiliac joint and the joints of the lumbar spine also end up tightening and may cause low back problems. So what can you do about this to help prevent or reverse some of these issues? Well, let me discuss 5 tips to help improve the health of your feet and ankles. 1. We need to restore strength in your feet, including the smaller muscles of the feet. So before you begin any exercise regimen, please consult a healthcare professional. Now, having said that, 2 simple exercises to get you started are running in place barefoot and then also trying to balance on the ball of one foot for up to 4 minutes. Now, if you're going to be balancing on your foot, make sure you have something to hold on to so that you do not fall over and injure yourself. So doing this daily will start to strengthen the smaller muscles in your feet and help strengthen your feet enough so that they will be able to support you. Next, we want to restore some flexibility to your feet. One of the most important places to start is in the spaces between the long bones of the feet. This occurs as a result of shoes being narrower than people's feet, so feet are constantly being compressed, and then the smaller muscles in the long bones tend to tighten. So if you push into the grooves between the long bones of your feet, you may notice that they are likely very tender and sensitive, probably more so than you may have realized. And then try to push apart the long bones around these tender areas for about 30 to 60 seconds daily. And as you are able to restore some flexibility, your feet and back may start to feel better. Next is working to get some spacing between your toes to allow them to come apart slightly. One way to do this is to gently place your fingers between your toes and hold them apart as is comfortable until it begins to feel uncomfortable. And you want to slowly build the length of time daily until you can do this for several minutes. Over time, you'll start to notice that there may be a little more space between your toes. Another option is to get some toe spacers. The ones that I like the most is a brand called Correct Toes, which one can find online. I like Correct Toes because they can be used while wearing socks and shoes. All the other brands that I'm aware of do not have that capability. Now, note that this is a slow long-term process as far as getting some spacing between your toes, so be patient with it. Fourth, I recommend getting proper shoes. Now, proper shoes have different meanings to different people. My definition of a proper shoe is a shoe that has a wide toe box, is wider than your foot, does not compress your toes, is highly flexible, especially in the front part of the shoe, which is where you need flexibility during walking. It does not have built-in heels and does not have arch supports. Now, I realize this is different than what is generally considered a proper shoe, but in this context, we're looking for a shoe that does not teach you to walk wrong and does not deform your foot. Fifth, let's talk about proper form with walking or running. When you walk or run in place, you land on the ball of your foot, which is where your foot is designed to absorb shock. That is how you should try to land when you walk or run, on the ball of your foot. So try to be conscientious about it. And it is a hard habit to break after a lifetime of doing it wrong, but over time, the more you do it, the more you'll start to walk more and run more correctly if you're doing both of those things. So try some of these ideas and see if you can make some of them habit. As you start to feel healthier and more flexible, you may notice that your back, legs, and overall body feel healthier as well. Remember that it's important to have fun and try not to force yourself into doing these things. Now, if you have any questions or would like to attend a more in-depth, hands-on seminar on this topic, please email us at info@osteopathiny.com, or please visit our website at www.osteopathiny.com for additional information. This has been Dr. Daniel Lopez, and thank you for watching 5 Tips on the Health of Your Feet and Ankles.